everybody, to a special edition of the Business Builder Podcast. We have, is it B?
Yeah, we go by B. That's
go by B.
Simple enough.
But if you're tuning in to the Madspeed YouTube channel, so your Instagram handle is what?
It's B. That's it. Well, Instagram is Madspeed. Everything is Madspeed, and if you need to get a hold of me, my Gmail or my email is bmadspeed@gmail.
There you go.
Everything is B Madspeed, and you can find us on the internet, YouTube, wherever.
So, man, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely excited to be here, man.
We have a mutual friend who set this up, because his car is, I love that color, man. That Tahitian green.
Yeah.
It's like a one-of-a-kind color.
His is amazing. It's a 91 Tahitian green pearl, and one of those just sold this week at Mecum Auto Auction with 343,000 miles on it for $71,000. So he paid a lot less than that, but $71,000. So the value of this car is skyrocketed, and his car is amazing.
It's
I have
crazy.
a red one outside.
So we're going to be talking about like what you do in the car community, and then kind of the art and science of like a YouTube channel runner, right? Because you have one too, I have one too, but what you do with Madspeed is you mod out cars or.
Pretty much, yeah. So originally we started years ago in 1997. So we started by modifying cars. I started modifying cars basically because I needed a job. So I don't have a job anymore. I'm working for my old man. I have a son, and I need to stay home because daycare is too expensive. So I started modifying cars, and it just sort of blew up.
Right.
It was like my side hustle. So I had a regular job where I was a house painter, painting houses. Took the side hustle, and it was working because I could stay home with my kid. And eventually, man, it just sort of built into something. I built a car and someone liked it and said, hey, can you do that for me? And I thought, yeah, I could do that for you. So I built another car, and then it just sort of snowballed into building cars. And then we built the name. And as I was building cars for people like my brother and people that were close to me, they sort of stuck with me the whole time. And then we created the actual name came in 97. So it's a little bit before 97. And then the actual name was established in 97. And man, I just been putting cars together, old Hondas, because it's just what I like. Because in my day, it was Camaro Mustang. Was all the hotness.
Yep.
So to be the underdog, the Honda was the car to get.
Yeah.
So I got the Honda car, and in 1997, I was turbocharged and running with guys who were running pro Hondas then, along with my whole crew, which turned out to be, we had a race car and all that stuff in 97. So we started running with some of the guys who were actually pros and big sponsors. We got a couple of sponsors, and it just sort of blew up.
That's crazy.
In the early 90s. We had a Winnebago. We were going to tracks.
That's
Great
nuts,
fun.
man.
Great fun.
How old were you back then?
Oh, man, I'm 50 now. So whatever that makes me, 97, I had to be 23, 22, or 23 years old.
You got in. That was kind of like right at the beginning of that whole.
Absolutely right at the beginning. Man. So I guess I sort of got lucky. I went in the military. I was in the Navy, and I was stationed in Pearl Harbor. So being in Pearl Harbor, which is much closer to Japan, it helped with that whole Japanese culture.
So good grief.
So when I was over there, I got there, and I was into mini trucks already, into Volkswagens already in high school, because I mean you're born a car guy pretty much. So I did the whole car thing, and then when I got there and I saw this Acura Integra, now that's when they came out with the round headlights. So in 1994, they started round headlights, and I had never seen that before. Freaking amazing thing to see. So I'm looking at these round headlights thinking, that's a cool car, the 94, wow, amazing. And this guy slammed it, and I thought, man, mini trucks is all I know. So a slam truck, it rides like hell. Yeah. But his car was riding great. I mean, it was riding smooth, and I thought, man, I got to find this guy. What the hell's going on? So I found him, found out he had race suspension, and that there was a market for this. There was something out there, and I didn't even know existed. So when I found out it existed, I was in hook, line, and sinker 100%, and this is 94, I'm in the military. So when I got out and came back here to the East Coast, it was like a new thing. Yeah. There was no one here doing it. It was only a few guys in California. Of course, I went back and forth to California, being in Hawaii a few times. Saw some of those guys racing and whatnot. Got back here and thought, man, I've got to maybe start this trend or build it up or whatever. So it was just a few of us doing it back then, and I mean, obviously it took off. The import scene is huge. This is long before the Fast and Furious was thought about.
This is like way before then.
Way before. So I think the Fast and Furious came out because we were doing this already. So it's based on real life, and art imitates life, and that was the art, that was the life before there was Fast and Furious. So if you got in after the Fast and Furious, you're a new kid. If you got in a little bit before that, that's the real OGs, man.
Because when I was in high school, man, I graduated in 90. I'm 52. And so one of my buddies had like a 68 Pontiac GTO with positive traction suspension.
Amazing
sit there and just burn out, and for like, I don't know, 500 yards.
That's what they do.
And then me and him and his brother, because he was driving and he had a little brother that was my age, and we would drive back home from school. And we're out in the country, we're in a rural area, so we take a left turn to go home. But then on the corner there of this this intersection on the corner, there was like a cornfield. And so and you know where this is going. So he's like, check this out, y'all. And he just went off the road into that cornfield and started doing donuts. And I was like, I'm like, oh my God, Todd's going to get us all in jail. And then, you know, and the thing was, it's like a small town. Everybody knew that one of the high school kids went through that cornfield and did donuts, and I was like, so all the grown-ups were inspecting all the cars and looking for like corn husk in the grill.
But the same for me growing up, those were the hot cars, man. Everyone had a big car, big muscle cars. I mean, you know, coming out of the 70s into the 80s, it was all big muscle cars. And the import scene was not really
it
popping.
Was like, you know, they were like, oh, you got a race burner? You know,
100%, 100%. In fact, our first race car that we built was built by a guy named Ryan Adams and Mikey Cockman, and the name of that car was Burnt Rice, based on the fact that we were all rice burners back in the old day.
Well, you brought some merch here, man. I want to encourage everybody. Like, if you're a car person, go and check out the Madspeed channel on YouTube. I did some, you know, we checked out each other's stuff before this, and I want to talk about that a little bit. One, so that was kind of the history how you got started, right?
Sure.
So now when did you start the YouTube channel?
Well, the YouTube channel is new. So videos for me are not new. I've been making videos forever since back in, we were talking the other day about making VCR tapes. Putting VCRs together to make a video. So video is not new for me. In high school, I was on the, I don't know, when you got third period and the news comes on, they tell you the
you're the
sports
AV,
scores.
the AV kids.
I was definitely one of the AV geeks in there, man, for sure, doing that stuff. So I've been doing it for a long time. Again, like I said, I'm 50, so this was in the 90s, 80s, 90s, working on TV, VCR. So I kind of got away from it when my son was born and focused just on building the cars, and I probably should have been making YouTube videos way back when it first originally started.
Who knew?
But yeah, exactly. Who knew that it would be so big? So over the years, I've been pushed and people saying, man, you need to make more videos, you need to go back to the videos, and since you're doing this thing, put out a YouTube video and see what happens.
Right.
So with my crew all behind me and them, of course, being the main push for me to make a video, we made one and it seemed to do really, really well. Like, oddly enough, it takes a long time to get on YouTube any recognition. So if you're on YouTube, it's hard to get your first 500. We got it, man. We banged it out fast. But I think that's because we had so much history of videos, and since '97 we've been building cars, so we sort of already have a fan base. And it was based mostly on photography. I was doing some photography before, and internet forums. That was the thing.
Yeah, that was the
internet forums before Facebook. Yeah. So that sort of rocketed us into getting our first 500 followers, let's say. It was absolutely organic. There's no like paid to get YouTubers, but it's just from that following of taking pictures and have been doing it so long. So easily we got our first 500. Well, more easy than most. Not necessarily easy.
Yeah, it helps if you have a community already built.
Absolutely.
And it seems like, I mean, so the trend that I'm hearing is that you guys were just kind of like on the ground floor with all this stuff. Like all these things kind of came
100%.
as you were growing.
We are absolutely Forrest Gump in this community, because we were there, you know, when big names like Ed Bergenholtz and Steph Papadakis, these were guys who were in the NIRA. So this was the National Import Racing Association, which was started years ago by this guy named Craig Lieberman. Anyway, the National Hot Rod Association sort of absorbed it. So, which I think is right, because we're all just building hot rods. It doesn't have to be import, whatever. But it absorbed it, and we were in the beginning floors of this. This is when the guys were first running nines. This is when they were first getting imports fast. We were there. We were sponsored by Clutch Masters way back when. Like I said, we had a Winnebago in our crew, and we did all of that. And it's sort of having that base is what allowed us to start YouTube with a fan base. So having that base, I think you're right 100%. If you have a base group of people that's already with us, and we're obviously in a niche group, that helps grow the YouTube quickly in the beginning, at least. Yeah, absolutely. It is about community, and then it is about kind of giving that audience like what they want. Absolutely.
You know, and so and the thing about YouTube and social media in general is that before there was, you couldn't talk directly to your audience. Yeah,
exactly. True.
And now with DMs and with comments on videos and stuff, like you could get feedback immediately, because they'll tell you, bro, this sucks. Or it'll be like, yo, this is just banging, man. Like get more. So you get immediate feedback. Right. And so you can adjust. And I think that's one of the, for like long term, if you're going to exist on YouTube over the long term and try to grow that, it's like you really have to be in touch with the community. But you guys already were, and that was one of the big push, or one of the main reasons why you had that growth so fast.
So we were in that small community, but it was so it's still so small.
Yeah.
We're a small niche group, but it was so small. And now having the YouTube has allowed us, like you said, to reach out to, you know, the Midwest and places we wouldn't necessarily visit or go race or have a connection.
Right.
That now we have those people that are fans and followers. So the YouTube allowed us to really expand that and grow quickly. Quickly.
And because you can connect. It's like, I mean, you know, there's the good and bad of the internet, right?
Of course,
one of the positives and one of the pros of having the internet like this is that now you can, those fragmented communities now have a place to come together.
Right.
So that's, but there again, it's like now you got maybe a bunch of wackos coming together too. It's like, so yeah, you got to watch them. So you mentioned there was a video. That's one of the questions here. Was there like a specific video that just boom and just did so well that you're like, whoa?
Yeah, well, we put out a video. I guess it was right in the beginning. So again, we're still so new at YouTube, and it was climbing exponentially. I mean, it was almost scary. I had to hurry up and get a business license, you know, because it was climbing so quickly.
Right.
But we put out a video. My buddy Dave, he has a shop in Goldsboro called Speedworks, North Carolina. He's a great guy, and again, we go back probably 25, 30 years, to some of the original Super Street Tour back in Nopi. This is 90s, you know, and all this stuff. And now he has a shop, and he built a great shop car. It is all-wheel drive, and we put that video out of him racing that car, and it got over 12,000 views. So having you know 500 followers and getting 300 views on my videos, and then this next one got 12,000. It was our first sort of viral, if you will. 12,000.
Yeah, absolutely.
Biggest video for us, although it happened on YouTube before I was getting paid for videos, so I'm not making a dime off of that video, so I hope you guys enjoy it. But
go back and watch it so you can get paid.
Yeah, it's a great video, and the car is really, really fast, so that one just sort of took off, blew up, and it was like, okay, I see that people really enjoy the racing in the videos, but I could probably make more money doing racing videos, but that isn't really the motivation.
Right.
That is part of what we do, it's part of what we have going on, but we're the whole scene, we're not just racing. So there's channels out there that do just racing cars.
Right.
But we sort of do the whole thing. Ours is more of a lifestyle vibe.
Yeah.
And it includes that car. It includes racing cars. We have a 900 horsepower Civic now that hadn't seen on the track yet, so keep an eye out for that. Coming soon. But you know, building these cars and having fast cars is just part of the whole community that we're part of.
Right. So, so the Madspeed, there's a team, right?
There's a full team.
Yeah, shout out the team, man.
Yeah. Well, the team is strong. I don't want to name everybody's names. I'll miss somebody.
Well,
but
the
main crew here that's been running it, since the old days is my brother James, my boy Mark. Shane has been with us. My buddy Buddha, who was here on your podcast pretty recently. Again, these are the guys that have been there forever. There's a bunch more. I mean, there's Scuba. The list goes on and on. There's probably 10 cars that are really, really solid all the time.
Right.
In fact, a young guy named Chris Fillmore is actually the guy who came up with the name in 93 or 97 rather, and in 97 he was 8 years old, so this is his name and everything. He's my younger brother-in-law, so he's still with us, and he's in his 30s now or whatever.
That's awesome, man.
But yeah, he came up with the name as 8 years old, so man, those guys, it just sort of stuck. The guys that started it stuck with it, and we've all been friends and all been together for 20 plus years pretty much.
That's so cool to have. We were just talking earlier, man. It's so awesome to have a crew of people that's been together.
Sure.
Like, it's like a band of brothers.
Absolutely. You know? And the more we find out that excites people, that we've been friends for so long. In this community, you find a lot of people who work on their cars, and then, like, say, a military guy, for example, and he moves to a new town, he has to find a whole new group of people to do this with, a whole new group of people to hang out with. So watch the channel, because at least you're hanging out with us.
Actually,
but, you know, that's the whole thing, is we have been together for so long, and we all just sort of work well together and blend well together and argue well together, that I think it just all comes out in the wash, and we're just one solid big team of all of these guys. So that's sort of a rare thing, I guess, in today's day and age, especially in our community.
One of my cousins he's in the Army. I think he's in Kentucky. But you know, he's got a tuner too, and so whenever he changes duty stations, he's got the same thing. Yeah. Right now, now in the Army though, like wherever he's going, there's probably other dudes there that are the same age with other cars. So might be a little bit easier for him to find. But if he has to uproot every couple of years,
well, staying involved. This is part of staying involved. That all these people have been involved all this time. And somebody like that, or someone, for example, moves around or something, it's hard to find that group, so it's hard. You lose your enthusiasm, you lose that. You don't want to be involved as much. So with us having that niche group of all together and staying together all these years, man, it keeps me motivated, it keeps me involved, and it keeps me from having to get a real job.
Yeah, right. So, have you been back out to the West Coast recently?
I haven't. No, I haven't in such a long time. I don't like to fly. The last time I drove out there, and we drove to
that's a long drive.
Acura Integra Type Rs, so two limited production cars. We took those out there, but man, this is like in 07 or 08. So it's been quite a long time. There's a video on the internet out there somewhere if you can find it.
Right. So, what do you think, or what's the most important lesson you've learned so far on the YouTube side, as far as like growing and managing a YouTube channel?
Well, it's hard.
Yeah, it is work.
It's
like
hard.
I used to not think it was work.
100%. You think the guys on YouTube are out there having a good time, and some of them maybe they are because they've made it so well. They're paying editors. But if you're actually making the video, and like us, it's in real time, so it's the real story. If I'm building a car, I'm building it this week, and that video comes out this week, so we're in real time. I'm not filming ahead or anything like that. I think the lesson learned is I should have filmed ahead. I should have videos ahead. It would be easier to release the video and have them all done. But we don't do that because we're just showing you what we have going on anyway.
Right.
But probably the biggest lesson I've learned in making YouTube videos is you just have to tell people. If they don't know, they can't see it.
Yeah.
So advertising is really the biggest thing. So basically we use all of our social medias, and there's a group of us, like I said, about 10 of us, and every social media points back towards the YouTube.
Right.
So if I have an Instagram, it's cool, you see the pictures on my Instagram, that's awesome, but there's usually a link or something that says check out the YouTube
it goes
channel.
Back,
So every bit of our social media is leading back to that one social media, which is the YouTube channel. So we're all pointing towards that, and man, that's the best thing I can do. The best lesson I learned is you have to advertise.
Yeah.
You can't not advertise. I'm not the guy out there saying, please subscribe, please click the link. Please, I don't want to do that, but we do have merch, and you can rock it, and you can support us and the channel, and we'll sell it, and we want to bring everyone into the channel so that you enjoy it with us, instead of like, we're not trying to like build this thing so that we're amazing.
Right.
Build this thing so that we're all amazing is what I want to do.
Well, and that's, the other thing I wanted to ask you about too is that, I mean, there's like a delicate balance between money and like, hey, we need support, we need money because we need money to make the thing go, right? Mm-hmm. So we can continue to do this thing for you. And, the people that support you, if they're fans or if they like the channel, whatever, they usually don't have any problem like giving a little something to help it go.
True, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I know like you're an artist mainly, right?
Right.
And so
I'd like to think at least.
Right. Well, I mean, I've seen the videos, man. I mean, the camera angles are good. The way you're using different techniques, you're using different angles, you're using various. I mean, it's more cinematic than it isn't.
Yeah,
right?
Thank you.
And I know how much work it is. That video you sent me, man. Like I'm sitting there watching that, and I was like, oh my god, dude, it's first of all, it's days worth of footage.
Yeah, it is.
It's a days. It's like how many 2-3 days at least.
And 3 to 5 cameras depending on the day.
3 to 5 and a drone.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm sitting there watching it, going, dude, like this is one camera in one location, and I can control the lights.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But like you've got 4 or 5 different cameras. You got a drone going. It's like it's in the middle of the day. It's in the evening when the sun's low. It's
full
in the early morning.
production is
all
what I'm
this
trying to
stuff.
put out.
You're hanging cameras out of windows of cars, getting like, and I'm watching this going, dude, if he drops that phone, it's over.
It's over for sure.
Because I was like, it
won't be the first one that
because I'm like, that's not attached because he just literally he was like talking to it and then put it out the window and then brought it back and I was like, bro, I was like, and your guys are the Dragon's Tail wherever that is. I don't know where it is, but it's a windy road up in the mountains somewhere.
It's 318 curves and 11 miles on the North Carolina-Tennessee border.
Yeah. So good luck finding that phone if you drop it. Well, that's cool because I kind of like. Let me ask you this: so YouTube versus Instagram, right? Mm-hmm. They serve different purposes.
Sure. Yeah.
So, because you've been doing this a lot, and I have not started to put like a page for Instagram, but I'm going to have to because you just have to.
So today you just have to.
So how does what you do with YouTube and the strategy for YouTube differ from what you're doing on Instagram?
On Instagram, Instagram's my favorite because it's just pictures, and who doesn't like picture books, right? So you just get to look at the pictures. They do have the stories and whatnot, but I'm just using that platform, and somehow I have more followers there than I have on YouTube, so it's just the way it grows. I think the attention span today is so simple and looking for short, quick things. So this and stuff like TikTok, Snapchat and all that. I specifically use Instagram, but a lot of guys use the other ones. But on Instagram, I try to have that quick, snappy, something that grabs your attention. just for you're gonna get that ad repeat. You're gonna see my logo repeat. So if you follow me, you see it repeat all day, every day. You're seeing that same logo, and part of that repetitiveness is just selling that logo. Yeah, there you go, selling the logo to them so that you see it and you recognize it. So if you are on YouTube, or if you do click the link, you recognize it straight away. So I'm just looking for recognition on YouTube, on Instagram rather, of the logo, of what we have, of the type of cars we're using, and if that attracts your attention, then get over there to the YouTube and check it out. But if you're on YouTube and you recognize, hey, I saw that logo on Instagram,
right,
you just might check it out.
Yeah.
Or on Facebook, or on any one of the other social medias. That's the whole idea of bringing them all together to focus on that one, is push the logo, push the branding, and then hopefully that will bring you to what we are actually selling, is the import lifestyle, or the Honda lifestyle that we lead. Right.
Thank you, because that's exactly the same way I feel about it. I'm looking at Instagram and going, you want to have like a follower or subscriber base.
Right. Yeah, good social media presence. Right. Yeah, agreed.
But again, your main focus is longer videos about the thing itself, right? The lifestyle, the putting together the course.
And that's the hardest part to get people to watch, the long video.
And so, but they do. They do because you see it. You get tens of thousands of views on one, hundreds of views on the other one. So the market's there, the audience is there, and you're right. There's so many people with the lower attention span. They're going to live on those other platforms,
the quick ones,
right? But I'm thinking the same way. I'm seeing Instagram as like more like an advertising thing, just for brand awareness. It's like boom, boom. Here's So you see it all the time. But if you want more, you have to go back to YouTube, right?
That's 100% the idea. Yeah.
Because they don't. So YouTube's owned by Google, Instagram's owned by Facebook. They don't play well together. They're competing for eyeballs. You know what I mean? So it kind of puts the creator in this position where, as a person who's creating videos and trying to foster an audience or a community, you have to you have to be where your community is at.
100%.
If they're on Instagram, you got to go be on Instagram.
Right.
But you can't hold a bank, and a history of videos on Instagram.
No, it doesn't.
That has to be on YouTube.
You're right.
So we're forced to kind of put our feet in each pool.
Absolutely.
And then you have to kind of learn the rule sets for each one. So it is kind of a pain in the butt. And as YouTube creators mainly, we would love to be able to be supported on the main platform that we're going to create, which is YouTube. Because people are saying, you got to be on Instagram, you got to be on Instagram. And I was like, I know, I just don't want to. Because it's work, that's another work.
100%, 100%. And everything is putting in work. All of those, making a reel, making a short, even just a photograph on Instagram, you have to add the music, because you're not going to grab that attention if you don't have that.
It's got one of my buddies, I just did a over the Christmas holiday, because he was in town and I was in town. I was like, let's get together, because we haven't seen each other in years. But he actually works at the School of the Arts in Winston-Salem.
Oh, nice.
And he's been in film ever since I've known him, right? So he's like a filmmaker, and mostly short films, but that's all he's done since I've known him. And we were talking about that, and oh gosh, I lost it. What was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say. This is what happens when you get old. You get old, you just forget stuff, right?
It's that 50 plus. That's what happens.
This is, I knew I shouldn't have smoked all that weed in my 20s. If it comes back to me, I'll bring it up.
No worries, no
worries. How do you connect with your audience? And, that's the videos and one thing. So, but outside of just putting out the videos, how do you connect with your audience? And then what feedback has surprised you the most?
Sure. Well, here's something that we do. We have to go to car events.
Yes.
You
got to show up.
You have to be out there. You have to the people have to see that we are really involved, and there's no faking it for us, because we are really involved. I may not show up, but we may have a guy who's a photographer, Tommy, amazing photographer for us. He's at about every single Wilmington car show you can imagine. Yeah. So we are represented there, even if I'm not there. There's somebody wearing our brand. There's some logo there. So we try to represent as much as possible locally. Right now, Tommy's being our ambassador, and I'm not, but at least Tommy's out going to these things. And again, in the other areas, most of these guys, we don't live in the same area. So Mark lives 2 hours from me, and then my brother's another 2 hours in another direction. So that sort of spreads us out locally. So we show up at some of the local events, you know, Friday night hangout or 7-Eleven meet or something like that. Sure, but really the big events is where it's at. So like Nopi Nationals is coming up, and they're trying to reinvigorate their old tour from the 90s, and so we've been in a little talk with them. We'll see how that goes. And then something like Classic Hondas on the Dragon, the thing at the tail of the Dragon, is our number one absolute favorite thing to do. Right. It basically, the venue is a car meet, and it's all Honda based, and we're basically Honda based. So the classic Hondas, the golden era Hondas, 88 to 2001. Man, so it's based on that. So at that event, we have a car event, as well as you get to drive the car on the Dragon. So the beauty of that one is you can drive the car there. We tend to trailer. It's a few hours for us, but because we're going to drive them on the actual Dragon, sort of the racetrack, as hard as possible, and then put them back in the trailer and bring them home. But a lot of guys drive them there, and that's sort of the whole thing. Is these cars are from the 90s. You can still drive it. You can still drive it hard. And you can still drive it home. So that event basically encapsulates everything that our channel is doing all year long, is building a car for an event like that event. It just so happens that that one's just perfect for us. And that video, man, it was, like I said, it was a lot. Because you edit videos, I edit videos, and I'm looking at that going, oh my God. And for that event, we usually put out 4 or 5 videos. So the ride there, the first day, the second day. Oh my gosh, dude. It was, in essence, it's like a mini documentary. Absolutely. You know, that's what it is. And that's the thing I don't think people might not get about, well, if you're in film or you're in video, right, or you're a YouTuber, you get it. Sure, right? Because you've been editing. Because, well, especially you guys too. I mean, it's different because you literally take the operation on the road, right? I mean, I don't have to do that as much, right? I may, like, the most that I want to do is, like, if I had time to, before this, I would come out to the shop and get some B-roll or something like that. So, like, over the long haul, I'd overlay this, you know. You can steal it right off my YouTube, no problem. I probably will. You know? Oh, how about this? So, okay. What was the feedback that surprised you the most? Oh, yeah. Well, honestly, as crazy as this is, and I mean, I'm putting it out there. We're out there. We are vulnerable. We're putting it all out there. And if you watch the videos, we're so vulnerable, you'll see our outtakes at the end. Well, we're not good at this. We're just out there giving it a shot. And man, I mean, when I look back through my entire YouTube, there's only one hater out there, because we generally have 1 or 2 thumbs down comments and almost no negative comments. Now, please give me the negative comments if you got one, because every comment is good for YouTube. It still works the algorithm. It's still good for YouTube. Love it, hate it, we don't care. We don't care, just comment. Yeah, just comment, just bring it. But luckily for us, like I said, if you look across the board, man, there's literally 1 thumbs down on maybe half the videos. So I don't know if maybe we're doing something right, or maybe you guys are just, you know, hey, give me the riz here, but give me the bad stuff if you have it. We just don't really have any. So I don't have much surprising content or surprising stuff like that. What I do have that I guess was the most exciting thing for me is the people that are following us and the people that are commenting or say things to me are huge. I mean, we have guys like Honda Pro Jason, who is like the Honda guy. There's just a lot of big names that are following us and comment and post on our story. And it seems like we have the right followers. We just don't have a lot of them. So we have all of the big people that are in our Honda industry. Even freaking Ed Bergenholtz, who raced with us back in the 90s, has, you know, posted, or I've contacted or talked with. So we have lots of big name followers. You know, and I'm name dropping people here, but we don't really have lots of them. So I'm hoping that having those big names in there will help influence us to get bigger. So that's probably the most surprising thing, is the quality of some of the people that are actually following my channel. And I think that has to do too with, like, the thing is something that I've learned with being in here, and I haven't monetized yet off of YouTube, right? I can monetize in other ways, but not off of like a YouTube AdSense, because you got to, or AdWords, because you need 1,000 subscribers for that, 4,000 watch hours, whatever. But you don't need a huge audience to be able to make a decent income, but you do need the right audience. Absolutely, you know, and I think that's what you guys have with your channel. It's like it may be your subscriber counts just under 2,000, right? A lot of people never reach 1,000. You know? I know. And so, but you know, but that community is tight, and they've been there. I mean, how old is the channel now? Man, we're only in our 3rd year. We're just starting year 3. Yeah, dude. So a lot of times, somewhere in between 3 to 5, that's when it goes nuts, because by that time you're just consistent.
You know, if you're doing it for 5 years, man, nobody can say you're not serious about it.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So, but that right audience it's that I think is, I mean, they're both important. Subscriber count's important, but having the right subscribers.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know how to value.
Well, as more of an artist than a business, I'm not looking at going into this to make $1 million.
Yeah.
We never were. It was never part of the idea. If we made some money and it helps us go to an event or buy some more T-shirts, that was always the drive. It wasn't always to make $1 million. So the fact that we have the right sort of people following us is the right direction for us, for this channel, as an artist channel, not as a business channel. So if we have the right people and the right people follow us, eventually it will grow.
Yeah.
But organically, we have the right people, the ones that we want to follow us, the people that we are actually involved with, and the people who respect us, hopefully from way back, saying we're from the 90s coming up, are watching the channel. And we're really grasping now and grabbing now a younger generation. A lot of these guys, I was at a meet the other night, and I have a 2002 S2000. So I park it outside, and it's basically stock. I just got it. You can watch a Mika video I have. But anyway, I put it outside, and the guy says, "Man, this is a great car. I love it." And I said, "Thanks, buddy. You know, whatever, cool." And he said, "What year is it?" And I said, "It's 2002." And this guy says, "Oh, the same year as me." And I thought, man, this is just a car. This isn't a classic car, but in actuality, for someone who is 22 years old or 24 years old, it is a car that's from when they were, born or young or whatever. So I can see that the market is changing, and we're grabbing some of those newer, younger people who are into the older Hondas, and for me are normal Hondas.
That's a classic car for them. Where it's like guys our age, we're looking at it going, man.
Totally my high school car. When I look back, I mean, I'm in high school in '88, so this is when the CRX starts. I didn't graduate in '88, but that's when they were new.
Well, that's you said you did trucks too, dude. I had a Mitsubishi Mighty Max.
Oh yeah, great.
And one of the dudes,
those are super cool.
But I didn't do anything to it. It was just stock. But like that's back when everybody. Remember how people were like tilting the beds on it?
Oh yeah. No, that's coming back too. I did Nissan trucks with a buddy of mine or whatever. Slam Nissans, lowrider stuff. So
dude, I wanted one so bad, but I was like, I was like, dude, I worked all the time in high school. I went to school, and I was working 6 days a week. So I would go to school and then go right to work. I didn't have any time to do anything else. People were like, "You coming to the party?" And I was like, "No, I'm going to work."
Gotta work.
So if you now that you have like some monetization, what does that look like? And then what has been like the best effective way for you to monetize the channel?
Well, I mean, I'm just using their simple way, of course, of 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watched hours. We grabbed that, luckily, within about 8 months of being on YouTube.
That's good.
We grew quick. Like I said, I had to get the business license fast. I was a little nervous.
That's that community, though.
Right. Exactly. That was our initial community. But from there, I mean, it's just sort of grown organically. I haven't done anything extra that I didn't do in the first year that we're not doing the exact same thing now. So nothing really has changed in the way we're pushing it or changed in any of that. It's just growing slowly on YouTube. YouTube is pushing it, I suppose, in their algorithm.
Yeah.
But, we're not really doing anything different than we did the first day till today.
Right.
Everything's the same. Maybe the video quality's come up a little because we have a little more experience and that sort of thing. But other than that, man, we're making the same video we made on the first day.
Right. Now, the videos are good, man. I mean, like I said, the angles, the different shots, the different cameras. I mean, it's a lot, dude. Just like for this, I would love to have a 3-camera setup. That's what most podcasts are, right? One in the middle, so you catch the 2, and then 1 for each guest, right? And that way, it allows me to stretch it out, right? The reason why we do this setup is because I'm running 1 camera. I can get a lot of use out of this. However, I would like to do it the other way around, but I just don't want to spend the money on the cameras just now.
Well, most of us are still using our cell phones. I mean,
look,
they're so amazing. Now, granted,
the phones are fantastic.
There are some YouTube channels out there, and when I click on those, it is obvious they're not using their phone. It looks so good. The depth of field looks amazing. Guy like CRX Seth is a guy we follow. He's 75,000 followers or whatever, and he's only gained that in the past year or two. I mean, he was 40 or something now, 60,000, 70,000 quick. So he's at 75, looking for that 100,000, but his camera is amazing. The cinematic views are amazing, and I steal all of his shots and try to take everything from that guy's channel. I just don't quite have that quality camera, and maybe one day we'll get there, but man, with the cell phone quality and having so many people film for me right now,
you could do so much.
The cell phone is just all we really need because they already have it in their pocket, they already have it in their hands. We just got to get the settings right, and I can say, hey man, how come you're not filming that? And then the guy over there can film it, the guy over here can film it, and I can bring it all together as one, which creates all of that depth in the video.
Yeah.
But makes it very, very difficult. I know some guys will go to a car show and they have the video out that night. It's usually 2 or 3 days for me, and it's usually 2 or 3 days of non-stop edit for me. It's not like in 2 days I'll get it.
Trust me, I know.
I edit for 48 hours, for 60 hours, like constantly.
Because as soon as you get back, you're like, all right, give me that footage.
Yeah.
And you got to dump it in.
And with what we do, it's important to get it out as fast as possible.
Yeah.
The first guy gets the most views.
Yeah.
And I'm not the first guy, but I hope that we're the quality guy.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the first. So I'd rather put out the quality versus the speed.
Yeah.
You know, and hope that carries.
But there's the trade-off, though. It takes the time. It takes time. So you talked about some of these other big channels or big names that have followed you. Have you been able to collaborate with those people on anything?
Some, yeah. So, well, generally when I'm at these meets, this is sort of our collaboration. We are in works with a guy from Driven Films, Dell. He's a local guy, sort of. I think he's in the Rocky Mount kind of area.
Okay. Yeah.
So luckily for us, he's close enough that we can collaborate. Some of these other guys are in Kentucky and California, so it's really difficult.
Would be
but Dell, who's he has maybe 15,000 followers, so he's obviously much bigger than us and a huge fan base. He's been doing this for 10 years. He is the next guy we probably will collaborate with.
Right.
Because he does sort of similar to what we do. If you watch our channel, my garage does one thing, and the other channel, the other garage at Row Racing sort of does another thing. We have I guess you could call it higher end, like Type Rs and CRX stuff that's worth a bit of money. Whereas down in the Row Racing shop, we have a car that is being built with no budget. So we have the full in between. So it's a full on race car with no budget. So Dell is going to help us with our no budget car because it's all. Everything's free for the car. So if the motor came from my buddy Dave at Speedworks, the transmission came from another guy, Jason, who runs with us, and the body came from Mark, who just picked it up for next to nothing. Everything is basically given or volunteered for this car, the slicks, the whole nine, fantastic. The roll bar. So the whole thing is put together with zero budget. Yeah. And we're hoping that, well, we have to spend a little money here and there for safety, but we're hoping that our buddy Dale, who's going to collaborate with us, is again volunteering some parts or whatever it is, sponsorships, so to speak, for the car. And we're going to get that car on the track. Now, it has been about 3 years we've been building it, and it's not done yet, but that's because we haven't spent any money on the car either. So, it's tough to build something when it's all free parts are given. Yeah. But, having that spectrum allows us to work with any other channel from our higher end stuff all the way down to the guy who's just in his backyard trying to put it. So we're hopefully relatable with that, and that will allow us to sort of collaborate as time goes on with just about anybody in the Honda community, Honda world, for sure. Yeah.
So do you guys organize and put on your own events?
We have never. Not completely. So when we go to Classic Hondas on the Dragon, the biggest thing we do is our drive there. So our drive there, we invite everyone to drive with us because we're coming from East Coast to the West Coast of North Carolina. So our open invite on our channel is to ride with us. If you want to ride with us, we have a great time. So within that ride there, we have certain stops that we make along the way for fuel. Yeah. We're taking trucks and trailers. And along those stops, we pick up other people who are on their way to this meet.
So it's like a big old convoy.
So it's sort of the tour. Back in the old days, it was the Super Street Tour, the Nopi Tour, and this is what we did in the 90s. And my brother went with us, of course, and he was incredibly inspired by this. Right. So we've taken that whole idea, and we do the tour to Classic Hondas on the Dragon, but it's the Madspeed Tour to Classic Hondas on the Dragon. And that is basically the one big event that we set up, but it's literally the drive and maybe 4 or 5 events on the way to one big event. So we set up events, but basically just that one. Yeah. And it could be 4 or 5 events, but it's all in one day, all in one trip, only once a year, and that's our big thing for the year. And I don't even do that. It's too big for me. Somebody else handles that.
That's a lot, man. That's a lot.
Somebody else handles that. My brother James handles all that. He does a fantastic job. He even gets us our cabin, does all of the logistics stuff. Right. So if you're looking for that stuff, he's the guy to talk to. All I do is edit, make the videos.
Dude, that's a big.
It's a big
undertaking.
Yeah. He does a fantastic job at it too.
What kind of business principles that have you applied to the channel, if at all, and then how has treating it like a business made a difference? And now I know that's probably a loaded question for you because you're more of an artist in the business too. So
it is. There's the business is there, and I'm not an idiot. I like to make money, and you can make money at monetizing anything, all the way down to the last sticker that we're selling the business
merch, man. Right. Buy the merch.
Right, but the YouTube isn't there to make the money. Merch is what we have sold since the 90s. I mean, I've sold out of the trunk of the car like CDs, and I'm an old rapper, you know. So we've sold stuff out of the trunk of the car for years and years and years, and there's no other place to get it other than knowing one of us.
Right.
And we don't have a store, and that would probably be a good business thing to do, to get a store. But part of keeping this thing in the community and keeping us real is you can only buy it from us.
Yeah.
So you have to know someone to get it. So in business, we take the channel and advertise what we're doing, and we're selling the merch, and we want to sell the merch, but I'm not going to let that run how the channel works. I'm not going to make videos to sell the merch. The merch sells because we make videos. We're not like making videos to sell the merch.
I love that you have to be there to get it.
Yeah, I think that keeps us underground. It keeps a community. One of the other things we do too, I didn't mention in the videos. If you watch the videos, at the end of the video, I generally end it with "Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again next time." And until we see you on the next one, until we see you next time, then the person would say, "Stay mad." So I don't say "Stay mad." That's sort of our hook line. Or you know, we see each other. "Hey, bro, see you later. Stay mad." That's kind of our thing. It's Madspeed, right? So in by doing this, we involve other people. So when I say "See you next time," someone else comes on the screen and gives us their not even a second of "Stay mad," and you see that. But we're bringing in all these people from the community to be part of the channel too. I mean, part of that is now you're on the channel, so you're going to tell your buddy, "Hey man, I'm on this YouTube, check it out. Watch this YouTube video because I'm at the end." And you might only have a segment of 1 second, but that brings the community in. And in every video, it's somebody new, it's somebody different.
Oh man!
And I mean, we've had people from the Mecum Auto Auction give it to us. I've had guys from Street Outlaws on there to do the "Stay Mad." So we have big names saying "Stay Mad," as well as just some model girls are in the video that comes out tonight. That my buddy Tommy's a photographer. He shot the models. They give us a nice "Stay Mad" at the end. So it's all about bringing that community, and again, having those people who are in there tell their friends, I got
a video short idea for your Instagram, man. Just like take all the "Stay Mads" and just chop it up to 30 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stay mad.
Absolutely. There's one on my Instagram story now. You can check it out. I do it at the end of every season. So the first season, second season, they already have
that's awesome. Good. See, there you go. There you go, man. It's like I need ideas. All right, now we're getting into the fun stuff. What's the craziest or most memorable story you've encountered while like doing this whole thing?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Most of this stuff for me is normal life.
Right.
I mean, my life is, I don't have a day job. My life is the garage, is every day doing this. So there's nothing really surprises me. But sometimes when I'll get a car and it'll be surprisingly horribly done. Someone will bring it in and tell me that
what have you done to this thing?
Absolutely. And the worst is when they've taken it somewhere and they've paid someone else.
Oh.
And then they bring it to me, and I'm not a genius. I don't know anything about new cars. I don't know anything about Toyotas. But '88 to 2001 Hondas, especially the Civic or the Integra CRX, these are like my niche cars. So I can basically walk by and go, that wire's wrong, that one's wrong. I can see that's missing.
Yeah.
So when someone brings me a car that someone else has worked on and it comes into the shop and we take a first look at it, it's amazing that it even made it there sometimes, by the way that
like, how'd you drive it
people think that it's just going to be okay. The beauty of it is it's a Honda, it's going to work, it's going to run, it's going to be reliable. It can be half bolted in there. I mean, I've seen engines with no motor mounts. I've seen just everything, just the backwards, just the completely wrong way, going, just mixed up. I've seen a lot of really messed up stuff. So that's probably the most surprising thing that I've seen is cars. But in the community and in the people, man, the most exciting thing is watching young kids that are into it.
Yeah, I was about to say.
That's really it. My buddy Mark has got his son Austin, who's on the channel all the time, and we'll get to watch him grow up. Yeah, like on the channel. Yeah, and I think that's really, really exciting.
Me too.
I think that's really cool.
Me too, man. Like that was one of the things I didn't know how I felt about that as kids being on YouTube. But like one of the top 10 channels has always been that, I forget, I think it's Ryan's World or something. It's a kid and his dad, right? Where the dad would get them stuff and they would just unwrap it together and play with it, right? And it's like, who thought that was going to be a thing that would be a thing?
Sure.
But then you kind of see these kids grow up over time on YouTube and become individuals, and it's like, it is kind of cool.
It is very cool. It's very cool to see.
Because you get to actually see the growth of the person and how they end up. And so when you, and that was another thing I wanted to touch on, like the life of the culture, right? You're saying, oh, these these younger guys are kind of getting more involved in these, what to them would be an older car, you know, which I think is awesome because it's kind of like it's reminiscent to shop class back when we were in high school.
Which they don't have anymore, right?
No, right? Because again, like, dude, not everybody is meant to go to college.
Right,
some dudes just want to work on cars.
Absolutely.
Some people want to go into trades. Some dudes don't care about anything but just welding metal together to make like stuff to bash things with, right?
Right?
Put that kid in shop class.
Right.
You know,
right.
Don't send him to trade school. Don't try to send him to college.
That's what it should be, man.
You know, so when you said that, I'm like, well, that's good to know. How many, like, from what you've seen, like, is there like a really big influx of young dudes coming in, or is it a small amount?
Well, I'd have to say that, you know, I've been doing it for a long time, man. So since these cars were new, I've been in it and not had the day job for 20 whatever years. So this has been, like I said, my life, man, and I've watched it grow and come up and down. So basically, the curve went where we were all into it in the 80s, 90s, and it was really big. In the late 90s, early 2000s, it was big. And then it just sort of fell off.
All you guys got married and had kids.
Right, it just sort of fell off. So most of those guys hit about 30 or so, and it just sort of fell off. And we lost a lot of it. Now, I didn't. I was still going, still working on it. But the quality went down. Yeah. It was harder to find good stuff. Civics are just economy boxes. They weren't never built to last. Right. So that's the pricing went down and everything went down. And then it's sort of, for whatever reason, started to just creep back up really, really slowly. And I thought, hey, man, I should probably buy a CRX. S2000 is probably going to come up in value. Just looking at car market, I mean, that's the business that I look at, how trends go. And the CRX originally was a two-seater. It's an influential car, so you watch that car. Yeah. It was faster than the Porsches in the 80s and could outbrake them. So you know this car is coming up. So I thought, man, I should look into these cars. I picked one up a few years back and then put it together, and I could just see the reaction of people of, wow, this is a great car. This thing is really cool. Hey, do you want to sell it? And then I bought it for like $400 in the backyard, and I sold it for like $25 or something. And at the time, that was a great deal. One just sold for $71,000. But at the time, that was a great deal, $25. And I thought, man, I made a little bit of money on this car. I could see this coming back up. So as it came back up, I could see that the younger people were really more and more involved in seeing this older car, because now it was their dad's high school car, or it was grandma had this Civic, or dad had this Civic, or older brother. So those people were starting to come around and say, hey, I have a story about that CRX. My mom had one, or whatever. So when that changed and the stories were their parents, or not them having one, but their parent or someone older, you could sort of see the market turn and the pricing changed. Yeah. So once kids started getting involved, wherever there's children, there's money. I mean, toys makes the most money. Yeah. So when they started coming around being 18, 19, and 20, so there's a 30-year gap there. I'm 50 and they're 20. In that 30-year gap, that's where it went down, and now in that 30-year gap, that's coming back up again. So those kids are now 20, 25, and their parents had them. So the market is shooting way up. Obviously, if you look at the 90s market at the Mecum Auto auction that just went, that's $71,000 for the CRX, $66,000 for a 99 Civic Si. So like it's insane how much that's come up. But those, of course, are collectors, low mileage. So we're dealing in cars with mileage on them, and the money is low, but the people are really, really excited about them. Right. So I can get a little bit more every time I'm selling a car, and a little bit more every time I'm selling a car. So it's helping the business grow, the YouTube channel grow, by just moving those cars and building those and selling them on. Yeah, and I mean, you got a lot of videos, man. There's a lot of cars going. Well, there's been a few, and we're making profit on all of them, but I'm not making a killing. I'm making a profit, but not a killing. Right. And then, you know, it's not necessarily about that. You know, generally what happens when luckily for me, it's been a younger crowd buying the cars. I get the younger crowd in, they buy the car, and I make a little bit of money, but all that money goes into the next car. Right. It's not like I pocket thousands. You know? It all goes into building the next car to get the next sale. And then I can see that, like I said, it's younger guys. These guys are 24, 25, under 30 buying the cars from me. So I can see that the market is turning around. There you go, man. And becoming more for younger kids. So all you young guys, man, buy the merch. I was going to keep saying that. What do you think, or what kind of advice would you have to like new YouTubers coming in to keep their audience engaged? I think if you're gonna start a YouTube channel, you have to be 100% passionate about what you're filming and what you're putting out there, and the money comes second. It's not the best the best thing to invest all your time and money and effort into, because it doesn't pay out. It pays so little until you are a big influence.
Yeah.
And once you cross that threshold, man, it can really pay.
Yeah, I mean, so many people, you can make 6 figures off of it.
Absolutely, right. But not in the first year.
No, it takes
It's going to be tough. So I think if you're starting something and you're looking to make money, man, be passionate about what you are filming and what you're putting out there, what video you're doing, whether it's just passionate about the business or talking with people or something as involved as doing engine swaps and that sort of thing. But whatever it is you're putting out there, man, you just have to get it out there and let people get involved and let the money come second. It can't be the main focus of this. It can be a focus, just not your main. At least in my opinion and the way our channel works, I can't focus on the money or I quit. Thousands and thousands of hours in editing, hundreds of hours in driving. Dude, yeah. The gas money it takes to get to these places to do this, it's just no way. So I have a regular income, and when this secondary income makes more money than my regular income, well, then we can lose this other one, and this one would become.
Yeah, don't quit your day job.
Right, that's 100% the advice is don't quit your day job, for
not
sure.
Yet, not yet.
For sure.
With just under 2,000 subscribers, like what are the short-term goals and the long-term goals for the channel? Not just talking about gaining subscribers, but like, where do you see the channel going? Sure.
So of course, I'd like to see this let's hit this 2,000 because it's a big number. That's coming up. You know, the numbers game is great. And then 5,000, I think, is sort of
5,000 is a good benchmark.
Right. We would love to have 5,000 subscribers. I think that's it. But as far as the channel goes, it's just going to follow real life. Yeah. There's no like, I'm going to get this car done and it's going to be the channel, the viral car on the channel. It's not really that. It's just I'm working on what I'm working on. The guys are working on what they're working on. And our goal is to get the classic Hondas. Basically, we're working on what we're working on, just like everybody at home has got their car that they're working on. And we're just sharing it with the people, sharing it with the videos, and they seem to enjoy them. So we'll keep sharing the videos, but there's no like, I gotta get this done before this time, or we gotta get this car done. It's really just real life and making the videos, and as they come out, if people enjoy them, great. And if it gets to that 5,000, man, that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah, and it, like, you know, I was watching the videos, and it really is like you're just there. Like you're just there in the shop with you. That's what it feels like, you know.
Yep, absolutely. Well, the idea is to hang out. I'm not a learning channel. I know how to do all this stuff, but I know how to do it my way. So my way might not be the right way. So if I get up there and I say, this is how you set your timing on the single cam, and it's really, this is how I set timing on a single cam. Might not be the right way, but it's the way I do it. So it's not necessarily a learning channel. It's more of a come and hang out with us. Yeah. See what we're working on. Enjoy the cars. The car is the star of the show. If you look at the channel, everything is cars.
It really is.
It's not me or Mark or James or any of the guys who are on camera. It's the car.
And I think that's part of what makes it so relatable too, because you guys aren't like, you're not trying to be YouTube stars. You're not trying to be like YouTube person. This is you. This is B. Like
100%.
This way he is right now. That's how he is on the videos. That's how he is in everyday life. He's not here going, oh, like I be. It's like
100%.
And so and that comes through on the channel and the other guys too, because it's not only you on camera. Sometimes it'll be somebody else, right? And it's just like regular dudes. Just hanging out at the shop, getting the work done.
We've been friends for so long, like we said earlier, 20, 25 years. So I feel like everyone should be our friend. Yeah. So if you watch the channel, you're just our friend. It's not like you're our subscriber, we need your money, we want you to buy merch. It's just somebody who's hanging out with us. Yeah. And I want the videos to come across like you're just hanging out with us. Even the big production ones like we do at the drag.
All right, here we're back. And we're back. Let's see, are we hit a check on the mic?
How do I do? How's my hair?
Good.
Yeah, how's my hair? We're doing all right.
It's flawless, man. Strong. What was that movie with Will Ferrell? He's like, how's my hair? How's my hair? He's like, oh, it's strong.
It's not great yet. That's good.
Yeah, I think, lucky you, man. Lucky you. I started going, oh man, when I started getting grays in my beard, my brother was like, he was like, hey, what's that, bro? What's that, bro? And I was like, oh, you just wait, because he's 2 years younger. I was like, you just wait.
My brother's 5 years younger. He's almost all gray, so I win.
Okay.
All right, anyway,
so we're back. We're close to the end here. Like minor difficulties. That's what happens. You got to get a camera that don't overheat. Okay. What is the biggest obstacle you're currently facing, and what are you doing to overcome that? Man,
it's normally, and it is, and it has been, especially over Christmas and the vacation, New Year, and all that. It's just simple motivation. It's great to get the cars done. I know how to get them done. I can take what I'm working on the car and get it done in an hour, and when I'm filming it, I get it done in 3 and 4 hours. So that motivation to continue to film and to continue to edit and still try to get this work done, because in the end, I have to sell the car.
Yeah.
So trying to get the work done and trying to stay motivated to film is really the hardest thing. Without my team behind me, this would have been done a long time ago.
Right.
For sure.
Right.
But I feel like I'm responsible to them as well as responsible to the viewer to put out another video, to make another video. So to stay motivated, to continue to make the videos is really the hardest part. It's easy to build the car, it's easy to build the art, but to continue to spend all of that time in the editing room and the slowdown of setting up the camera and setting up the angle and doing the next thing when I really just have to get the car done, it's really the hardest part, staying motivated.
What's your schedule like? I mean, how many videos are you doing per month?
Well, last year and in the past 2 years, we did a video a week. So
that's pretty heavy for
our videos. I think it is. I mean, some people put out 3 videos a week, and YouTube will tell you need 2 or 3 a week. Well, you know, we're not looking to make $1 million, so we do 1 video a week. So you stick with us. And we did 52 videos in last year, so we did it once a week. Now this year I've been a little slack already, so I'm behind 2 videos already. But it doesn't necessarily mean I won't get 52 in this year. But I try to put a video out once a week, either on a Sunday or a Friday. This year, season 3, we're doing Friday evenings.
Right.
And try to get one out every week. But it's not always possible. First of all, life happens, and then having other people filming and other people doing stuff, sometimes it's hard to coordinate with the distance and whatnot.
Well, but who else is editing? Who else is putting everything?
Yeah, so I'm the only one that edits when the guys are filming. Like in Little Washington or in Snow Hill or whatever, they basically Dropbox me all the videos, and I have to figure out their day.
Yeah.
So I'm not there to know that first they put the brakes on and then they put the wheels on. For me, I just get a list of videos that go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and good luck making a story and all of that stuff. But luckily it works. These guys know what they're doing. We film well, and then it all comes together, and we can tell the story. But when I get those, that's sometimes my down week. Where I'm not filming, seems like I have a down week, I'll spend that entire week editing because they put up a video. So even though I have it off from filming, I'm still on from editing. So it's really no time off, and it's really hard to stay motivated to continue to keep going.
Yeah.
So all the likes, all the subscribes, and all the comments, keep me going, guys.
Give him show him some love, man. Show him some love.
It keeps us rolling, man.
He's doing this for you. Yeah, because I get it, man. I mean, that was one of the things. Right before I started doing this, I had a coach, mentor kind of guy, and he said, look, before you undertake something big, like, because this is kind of a shift away from what I'm doing, and this is a whole other job, right?
Sure.
He says, look, you want to spend some time thinking about like your downtime and how you're going to recharge, because.
Agreed. Yeah.
Because if you don't, what will happen is you'll hit the wall and then just fall off.
Right.
You know. And so, like for me, for example, if you're doing an interview podcast like this, the thing that you always need is somebody to talk to.
Sure.
Right. Like I could just do this, but like I think I'm interesting, but it doesn't mean that like you know what I mean. I can talk to myself all day, but like who's going to watch it? So I need people to talk to, and that has been my thing. Is like I got to keep having people to talk to. Well, and then. I have my schedule that I want to do it on, which you were able to fit into. But if you were like, no, I can only do it on this day, then I'm like, well, now I have to figure out how I'm going to get that in. And over the Christmas holiday, I think I filmed 4 podcasts.
Oh yeah, nice.
Like episodes.
Nice,
So I got like 6 hours of stuff to edit.
Yeah.
And I can only put kind of 1 out per week. So I've still got 1 that I haven't even touched yet.
That's good to be ahead, though. That's good.
Yeah, it is. Right, because now like I've got the one for this week locked in. I got something 2 weeks, so it's like I've got it. But for again, as a one-man show, like now I'm looking at like a whole stack of stuff.
Sure.
And that's like just hours. And hours.
It's intimidating. Well, you also, like you said, you have to be able to regulate your downtime.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm married. I've got a son. I've got a life outside of.
Yeah. What do you do for downtime?
Man, I don't get much.
Right.
So oddly enough, in my downtime, I'll do some like sim racing. I do car stuff nonstop. Yeah. So even in my downtime,
what you doing, Dad? Racing?
Yeah, 100%. Or I generally am home. I'm in the garage. I'm working in the garage. Even if I'm not filming, I'm in the garage. And if I'm not in the garage, I'm like in New Jersey or I'm far away. I don't like just go to the beach. It seems like I travel distance for whatever reason and then come back and I'm back in the garage.
Yeah.
So even in my downtime, it's still very automotive oriented. I mean, I do have my wife who is not into cars at all, doesn't like to go fast at all. So I have to watch some TV or hang out with the wife or whatever it is, doing that sort of thing, of course. But most of my time, even free time, I mean, this is my life, lifestyle. It is my life in the garage.
Yeah, so I mean, this is not, you're not faking this. This is who you are 24/7. What do you do for like, well, how do you recharge? Like, how does, like...
I don't know, man. I don't really. I mean, I do. I mean, like I said, I like to travel and do that sort of thing. And even though that's sort of going, it's relaxing. A long drive for me is the most relaxing thing that I can do. So if I'm driving for, I mean, ridiculous 9, 10, 12, 15 hours. It's great. So I have a truck trailer, so sometimes I haul stuff. Sometimes I just take trips.
That might be the only time that you just have a long period of time. We don't have to do anything but the one thing.
And the other thing is when I'm in that car and I'm going, I'm not responsible to anybody who's around me. They know I'm on the road, or I'm doing whatever I'm doing. So there's definitely that.
Yeah, that's your downtime.
It's
on the road.
It's still sort of working.
That's crazy, man. But yeah, we all need it. We gotta look. It's like the whole kind of put on your own oxygen mask first thing, because if we're not. If we don't take care of ourselves, well, then you can't take care of the wife. You can't take care of the kid, the community. So if you suffer, and everything else that you support and all the plates you keep spinning, that suffers too.
For sure.
So it is important, man.
You're right.
All right. What advice would you give somebody trying to turn their passion into this? And you talked about this before, right? But let's say you're trying to make a profit. And I mean, like I said, you said, look, you got to be passionate about it. You have to love what it is, right? And I agree. I don't think that starting anything just for money is the best strategy.
Right. I'd agree.
Right. Just to pursue something just for money, I don't think is the best thing to do. Now you got to make money, but if there's no joy in it, or like, because you literally have like, that phrase, joie de vivre, right? The joy, like it's the lust for life, right?
Sure.
I mean, you're not doing this because you have to. You're doing this because you like it. You love it. This was always B. It was B 20, 30 years ago. B still doing the same. B went to the military, to the Navy, came out, still doing the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So 100%. I mean, it's like, and I think that's fantastic, because that is a consistent arc over your whole life.
My character arc, if I were to tell my story, stayed the same.
But you've niched out, like literally niched out a place in the YouTube sphere, in the culture itself, where Madspeed, people know Madspeed. When you show up at places, people are like, Madspeed, like people that have never met you but seen the channel, they'll come up and be like, stay mad. Like I saw the video you guys are doing when people were leaving. You're like, hey,
we get lots of stay mad and stuff yelled at us.
Is that like an air freshener?
Air fresheners are free. The one where your car stinks.
So it's like, hey man, I smell something. It's like, what? You're like, here you go, have this.
Yeah, not only is my brother good at logistics, he's also an asshole, and he would be glad to tell you that your car stinks. But then he hands you the air freshener. So
and I was like, exciting. I'm watching the video, and I'm like, how long does this go on?
But those air fresheners also have the QR code on the back. It's advertising. So even though it's a good time and we're trying to involve the people, we're still advertising. We're still pulling in the advertising.
But what a great thing, right? Because you catch them coming in, and then you catch them leaving too.
And they don't see it coming from.
No, they don't, because I'm watching it and I'm like, these dudes have no idea.
The best part about that is in that community, they're all so just nice, and they're all so excited to be there. And we're a presence when we're there. So when we say, hey, something's wrong with your car,
they're like, what?
People really freak out, man. They think that something's really wrong, So we'll I'm sure we'll have something next year for the ones who haven't seen all of those. But
I thought that I was like, that's so funny, man. I was like, because that's a story too, because they're going to go and tell their friends like, dude, I was up at the thing, man. They stopped me on the way out, especially if you're like a 20-year-old kid and that's your first time ever
and hopefully they watch the video after.
Yeah,
and hopefully they tell their friend to watch the video.
I think I'm on the video, man. It's like, I thought I got busted, but they gave me an air freshener, So I just, and that like does a lot of stuff, right? It creates a little bit of a buzz. It's something to talk about, It's one more touch point on the way out. As a piece of merch and branding and all that stuff. So kind of, but it's not only about that. It is about involving the community.
Yeah, it helps us build relationship with the people that are there. Absolutely, it gives us, even if it's just 2 seconds of conversation with somebody, and then let's say we have that little, we give them the air freshener. They don't know who we are. They've never seen anything. Once they have it, though, there's a good chance they're going to at least go check out the channel.
They'll check out the channel.
And the guy who's riding with them and their friend and their, you know.
They'll be like, they'll pull up the videos on the way out.
It's great for advertising, but really it's just putting ourselves out there in the community to say, hey, we're here and we're hoping to have a presence. And I think when we go out, when there's 9 or 10 of us all in the same hoodie or a similar black or the similar look and the similar, you know, cars all really stand out, hopefully, you know, in these cars, that we have a great presence and people take notice when we're all there.
Yeah, and the cars are, I mean, the cars are tight.
Well, yeah, thanks, man.
I was like, I'm looking at them going, man.
I'm pretty much personally involved in every single car. I may not do all the mechanicking or all of the work on them. They go to places and the guys do their own stuff, but somehow I'm in some way involved in each and every car that is with us. Absolutely, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's your garage. They bring it to, so yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, it's up on the jack. It's there, right? Or it's up on the lift, and you're like.
For sure.
Yep. Because I was watching one of the videos, and I think I was talking to Boo, and I'm like, how many cars does he have in a garage at one time? Because I think there was like 3.
Know. At least in the videos, it changes a lot because it'll be a customer's or, you know, a customer or a friend or whatever.
But it's like there's always it's never empty.
No, never. It's always full, and there's always one in the trailer, or one parked outside.
I was like, man, I'm like, and this is before I met you, but I was like, does this guy sleep? Because I'm like, it's like I know how much work it is to do the video editing,
and then plus,
and then there's the cars, and I was like, bro, I'm like, when does he sleep? All right, last one, man. If well, maybe not the last one. I'll have one more after this. So, why does that time frame of car, like, what is so special about it? What does it mean to you?
Really, well, this is where the answer gets a little tricky. So, like we said earlier, when I was young, it's the underdog car. It's the Honda Civic.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's not the Camaro. It's not the Mustang.
Wasn't a classic American muscle car.
And then growing up, that's all I wanted was the CRX. So I'm an old guy, 50 years old. So in the 80s, there was the 84, 86 CRX, and I thought it was a really cool car. And just so happened the lady I went to church with had a blue one, you know, and it was new. And I thought, man, I've got to check it out. And she was kind enough to let me check it out. And I thought this was cool. I'm probably 14 or so, you know. And I just thought this car is really cool. I'd really like to get into something small like this. Never mind influence from the Cannonball Run. So,
you go
all the way back to the Cannonball Run, and I thought the coolest car was Jackie Chan's car.
Jackie Chan's with the little
because it was technology based, and it was faster, and it had the turbo and all the stuff that they could do in the movie. And I just thought that was super cool, and he could beat the big muscle cars and all this stuff. So that was started. So
did he have like the rockets, man?
Oh yeah, man, it was all like digital on the side, super cool. But that's what influenced me in the small car, not knowing that it was a Toyota or whatever car it was.
Right.
But when this lady had this CRX, I thought, man, that's like the Jackie Chan car. It's little, it's compact, it's cool. So I got into it. Thought it was really neat then. And this is before, you know, buying cars or anything. So I'm super young. And then when the time came for me to get a car, it was pushed to get a truck. It was pushed to, I mean, I grew up in the country.
Yeah.
So it was pushed to get a truck, and it could help with work and that sort of thing, and maybe get a bigger car, station wagon. I think I got a Buick or something, and I was just never happy. Like, this is not.
This is not me.
Not at all. So I wasn't so much, I don't know if it was like allowed to parentally or whatever it was, but I was just more influenced to get an American car, a muscle car, people around me or whatever. So I thought, man, I'll get something. And then I was like, nah, you know what? I'll get a Jeep. We did trucks and I did all this stuff. And I was like, I really still have this influence of that old Honda Civic I thought was really cool. And I'm about to leave to go in the military, and a buddy of mine comes to my house who just got out of the military with a CRX, and it's probably an 88 or an 89, a couple years old, you know. It's 93 when I'm going, and I was like, man, this is better than the last one I saw. This is better. I really like the CRX. This car is really influencing my life right now. I really want to get into one of these, but I was off to the military, so off to the military I go. And I come back after seeing the cars in Hawaii and thinking, man, I've got to get something. I've got to find a CRX. I've got to find one. And then when I got back, there was a guy in my hometown who had a CRX, and it was my favorite car. And his name's Tim Lilly, who's still a friend of mine, 30 whatever years, but great car. And I really wanted to get a CRX, but since he already had one, I can't.
Yeah, I can't get a CRX. He's got a CRX.
So son of a bitch, I can't get that. So out of spite, I got another Nissan, because I was thinking again, the Jackie Chan thing, you know, it's as small as a Nissan NX, and it was cool. It's a cool car, and it was, I tricked it out a little here and there, and then started like car shows, and this sort of got involved in the scene. Wasn't really my thing, and then thought, man, you know what? I just got to get a CRX Honda or something. And then the Acura Integra that I talked about earlier in Hawaii was out with the round headlights, and I thought, man, that's way better than a CRX.
Yeah, those were sweet looking at
and
that
I can
time,
spite everybody.
Yeah.
and I can get one of those, and I can be faster than everybody. So really, I started in Hondas to beat everybody else as the underdog. So I got that car, and this is in the 90s. I'm back from the military, 96, and I turbocharged it early 96, 97. And this is early Honda days. You know, this is before you could buy a turbo kit. We literally would go to Walmart and buy like check valves for the sensors, and I had to go to the muffler place and have them build piping. It wasn't like you could buy a kit like you can on eBay now.
Right, yeah, this is a
so we had to build everything
Yeah.
in order to make it turboed. And man, from there, I was just hooked. I was hooked. I was one of the faster cars in town. I won't say I was the fastest one around,
right.
but I was definitely the fastest Acura because no one else was doing that. You know? And we were racing, you know, back in the old street racing days, it was racing a Grand Prix or racing a Mustang or racing a Camaro. So despite all of them, I was faster. Yeah, the car would run 12.8, 13.0 in that time.
Yeah.
So the only thing that was produced that was that fast was like a very special Mustang or like a Viper. So there was nothing else that was running lower than a 13 at the time.
Yeah.
So it was a really fast street car. It might run across race cars and big people build cars, sure. But if you're just going to the mall, I'm gonna smoke from light to light because that's what I've got, is that fast Acura. So that despite everybody, I wanted to go Honda.
Right.
And still today, Madspeed, you know, stay mad.
Yeah.
Still under that whole spite the world.
Hey man,
Honda's king.
Don't, like, if it ain't broke, man.
That's well, it's still working. You know, I'm still full of spite.
It's like, what was that? And you were like, I don't know if you've seen this, man, but like, it wasn't a thing when I was in. I don't know if it was a thing when you were in, but like, there's a military thing. It's like, you know, it's like the military runs on caffeine and hate.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. Caffeine and hate.
Caffeine and hate,
that's
man.
it, man.
Like, so last one here. You know, all good things come to an end, and at some point, I don't know, you might never walk away from this, but at some point, let's say you do walk away, right? What's the legacy, man? What do you want people to say about, not you generally, but like Madspeed?
Sure. Well, I get it. Your question 100%. I've thought about it probably my whole life. The whole goal for this, building a brand, building something that is everlasting, is immortality. Mm-hmm. So I'm immortal on YouTube. It's always there. You can always go back and watch it.
Yep.
I can be 60 years old, have my grandkids watching,
like,
and I can be 75 years old saying, look at, you know, granddaddy. So
exactly.
The immortality is there on YouTube because it's going to always be there.
Right.
But really what it boils down to is the name, the branding, the logo can last forever.
Yeah, exactly.
So immortality is the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't want to be a vampire, live forever? Who doesn't want to, you know, have the success forever? So I feel like this is something that even though I'm doing it now, and even if I left YouTube, this branding and this name can carry on forever through my son, through whoever.
Yeah,
through
and
crew,
like you said,
whoever.
You know, you got some young blood coming up through the ranks.
You're right.
And so they may, you know,
hopefully
they want to take it and run with it.
Hopefully it lives. I mean, you know, there's since 1997 is the start. Let's not have an end date.
Yeah, dude. And I think that's important, man. You know, because it is, you know, you get to our age, and you can kind of, you know, the ride doesn't last forever, you know? So it's like,
you see the end, and I see the tunnel, the light down there.
And you start thinking differently, man. And you know, it's like, there's no way when we were 20 years old that you could have had this conversation. We just wouldn't have got it, you know? You're young, dumb, think you're going to live forever. But like, that video that you saw that got like 1,200 views, that little clip that I did, it was about a guy who was old and just decided he didn't want to do it anymore.
Sure, yeah.
Because he was literally, I was talking to him, and he's like, I think I'm done. Yeah. And now the dude is 99 years old at the time, right? Gosh. And he was like, I was like, what do you mean you're done? And he tells me all the stuff. 2 weeks later, man, he's just gone, you know? And I'm like, just blew my mind. But like the dude he just was like, I'm just tired of this.
I guess when you're done, you're just done. You know, let's hope I'm 99 when I'm done as well. But you know,
I am not.
Good for him.
My plan is to go to at least 120. Yeah. Like, no, I want to break 100, man. Like, I will be mad if I don't break 100. I'll be mad, dude.
I think I'm good into the 80s. After that, everything is a gift. After 80 is a gift, you know.
Yeah, exactly, man. I had a friend that was like, man, I'm not gonna make it past 31. And I was like, well, you certainly won't if you keep talking like that.
Attitude.
I was like, bro, I don't know what. I was like, why? You're like tainting all these other good years that you have in front of you. Like,
well, I think they'll be the best years. I mean,
live them.
My son is grown. Maybe I have grandkids. Maybe not. Maybe, you know, whatever. But I don't. The responsibility of life is I'm not looking to make $1 million now. I got an end date. I'm not looking to, you know, have more kids and start something new. I'm just looking to live it and enjoy it. For the, you know, my time to ride it out, man. For
enjoy
sure.
it. you know, get all the fun out of life as possible.
Yeah. I want to take this body up to the, you know, sliding into heaven's gate.
Yeah.
I use it all up, man.
Exactly. That's what, like Hunter S. Thompson, right?
Yeah.
I forget who said it. Somebody said you only got one life to live, but if you do it right, once is enough.
When the day I go, it should be all used up. Should be all done.
Should be all used up.
That's
Nothing left in the tank, right? No, I'm with you, dude, because I'm like, I'm going to. By the time I get to the end, I want to go, man, look at you. I was like, I lived it. Even sliding in late, you know, beat up, battle scars, all that stuff.
Absolutely.
Well, B, man, it's been a pleasure, man. I really enjoyed it.
Thanks so much, man.
Yeah, man. And we'll next time we'll bring the whole crew on if we can.
Yeah, that would be great, man. I'd love to have my crew up here and get more into how our channel developed and built with these guys. And man,
and it'll be good to hear the different perspectives.
We've got history goes back 25, 30 years. So.
Yeah, and so look, so again, it's Madspeed. What is it? Is it just Madspeed on YouTube?
Yeah, Madspeed on YouTube. MADSPEED, one word. If you see the logo, you won't be missing this, man. That's right. The one.
And on Instagram?
Yep, same on Instagram, Madspeed on Instagram, pretty much on all media platforms, all the way to whatever, TikTok, X, whatever, all of it. It's all just Madspeed.
Now, is there any place, do you have like anything for sale that people can buy they want to support?
If you are interested in buying stuff, you can just basically send me a DM on Instagram is the best place to get a hold of me. I'm on Instagram more than I'm on anything else. So just send a DM on Instagram and we'll get you stuff sent out. Most of the shirts are $20 and you get a kind of a little care package there with free stickers and whatnot.
Awesome. Well, and I'll put it on the screen here when I do the thing, but what's your Instagram handle?
It's just at Madspeed. That's
at
it.
Madspeed. Okay.
Yep,
all right.
Madspeed. Yeah.
All right. Thanks. This has been B from Madspeed Channel on YouTube. I am Brother Juice. This is the Business Builder Podcast. Hope you learned something today. Check out his channel. Check out my channel. Tell all your friends. Like, now we're immortal, and if you leave a comment, you'll be immortal too.
That's it, man.